Greetings everybody and welcome to episode 14 of the Train Sim News Show. I'm well aware that I've already used this song before, but I really like listening to it and it really suits opening up a news episode like this. So let's begin this episode by talking about DP Simulation. About a week ago I looked up on the DP Simulation page and I discovered this little box right here. I'm going to read you guys the first paragraph just to give you an overview of what's basically happening on DP Simulation. Due to a mixture of spiraling costs, growing piracy, and increased negativity towards providing scenario packs, even at a small cost to try and supplement the website as a whole, DP Simulation will no longer be offering scenario packs for sale. I'm fairly certain many of you already know how I'm going to react, but I'll still play the reaction clip anyway. Take it away, demo! Now this is really good news for me because I'm against the selling of payware scenario packs, regardless of how much money they're selling it for. For reference, he was selling them for about £2 from what I remember. Yeah, my main reason for doing so is because it falls under one simple premise, or question you could say. What makes a scenario that is payware automatically better than one that is free off UK Train Sim, Trainpunt, or even the Workshop? If they are of equal quality, then why should the payware one be payware in the first place? I'm serious, this is a question I really want to see somebody answer. Despite the fact that I asked the question twice to people whilst having a discussion on a Facebook page about the DP Simulation scenario pack thing as a whole, not one, and I repeat, not one person bothered to answer my question. They just sort of bypassed it and said, oh no further discussion is needed, if you don't like it, don't buy it, blah 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 blah, same things I've heard all over again. It's almost as if either people are too scared to answer that question, or they just don't want to play by the rules and say no further discussion is needed. My same opinion and reasoning also falls under payware reskins, though there are none on DP Simulation to speak of. Not so much regards to routes, because, well, I think it falls under the situation of, if you're going to charge money for the route, well, I do hope you're going to include all the rolling stock that runs on your route, and not split them up unnecessarily, thus making people having to pay more than what they really need to. But yeah, back to my main point. I did see a few people saying that, oh, the money is going to a good cause, but now that I think about it, nah, I wouldn't say DP Simulation is a good cause. Yeah, get your pitchforks and torches ready. I don't. It's a site that just hosts train sim, reskins, a few scenarios, and some couple of routes. It's not really a good cause. And that Class 89 comparison that Mr. Fletcher put up there, yeah, only just furthers my point even more. Because regards to the Class 89, well, number one, when you bought it, you got a train, not a scenario pack. You also got the train with cabs, sounds, and also 3 different liveries. And number two, when you buy that Class 89 for MSTS, the money will go to this place, the AC Loco Group, a preservation group who are currently working to restore some electric locomotives to a working condition, or in some cases, mainline condition. If my memory serves correct, I think they've got 3 locomotives back on the main line running now. 2 86s and an 87 if I'm not mistaken. So that's some really good news right there. And I do think overall in general, preserving trains and getting them back running on the main line, or at least in a working condition, it's certainly better than just outright scrapping them. I'd also like to quietly remind you they have trains that have been around since 1960. That's a long time. I mean, granted they're not in a working condition, but they're trying their best to get it to at least a working condition if they can't get it to a mainline condition, and that'll be somewhat impressive if they can pull that one off. Taking all that into consideration, I personally think that the AC Loco Group are a better cause than DP Simulation, or more of a good cause, you could say. That doesn't mean DP Simulation is bad. No, I do like some of the reskins that Mr. Richard Fletcher has done. I like them. Especially this one, though he's had to take it down because the throttle was broken. Bit annoying, but not the end of the world. And even when he does fix it, I'm gonna have a lot of fun trying to get that to work with the AP sound pack. Oh boy. But still, my point still stands. I guess another thing to get off my chest right now is that if people are thinking that the reason why DPS is taking down payware scenario packs on his website is purely because of my opinions, well, I don't think they've read that little announcement properly, because as he states on the little announcement, he goes into more detail about the running costs aren't just viable anymore. That's the main reason why he's taking it down. Clearly. And even if that was the case, it would be just a pathetic way of responding to criticism. Come to think of it, I don't even think I made a proper rant about payware scenario packs, or at least his ones, in any of my previous episodes. At least I don't think I was to the extent of this episode, but hey, I'm willing to be proven wrong. At the end of the day, this is Darren's choice, really, when you think about it. And if you are so desperate, and I mean just so desperate to donate to him, he has a bright yellow donate button on his website. Just click that button right there, and then donate to your heart's content. Simple. Now, to clarify, just in case anybody else hasn't seen those previous episodes I made, no, I don't hate scenario packs. I don't hate reskins. I just don't like payware scenario packs, and I don't like payware reskins. Why? Well, you clearly haven't been paying attention. Moving on. So our next thing to discuss is that Class 455 that was released last week. You know, the Southern one. And spoiler alert, it's bad. None of you should be surprised, it's not that good. However, I got a better word to describe it. Insulting. Insulting to the player's intelligence, and insulting to those who have used the original Class 455. For example, as usual, they've copied and pasted the sounds over, and I'll link a video in the description showing the 455 better in detail than I could record myself. I mean, put it this way, they're driving it completely default with no modifications whatsoever. Playing a career scenario. I wouldn't touch a career scenario with a 10-foot pole, and that person there is driving it full. Now, even though this development team could be bothered to copy and paste over the sounds from the original 455, for some odd reason, they didn't copy over the physics. Instead, they decided to make some new physics. And it's even more unrealistic. If you put it in Notch 2, the acceleration is insane. And even more insulting is that the physics are exactly the same compared to when they were showing it as their advanced preview on their live stream on Twitch quite some time ago. This is just so insulting to the everyday player. It's insulting to me, because it's showing that they don't really care at all. Even on the Steam page it shows that they really don't care. I don't know where these guys have been doing their research, but I can tell you right now that a 455 does not have a combined throttle and brake. They are separate. And you also can't turn the engine on or off. Why? Because it's an electric multiple unit, not a diesel locomotive. To the date of me recording this, I do believe that they have changed it on the Steam page now. They just got rid of the combined throttle and brake, but they still haven't got rid of the piece of text that said you can start the engine or stop it. But to me, the most surprising bit of news that I found whilst looking at the 455 is found, well, inside the manual. If you scroll down to the last page of pretty much any manual of a train that Dovetail have made, or even any route, you'll find all the people who have worked on it in some way or some form. Now, ladies and gentlemen, get a load of this!
No way! I can't believe this!
Your eyes are not deceiving you. It's not a fake or a Photoshop. I'll even link the manual in the description to prove it. The same person who modelled your little precious 321 and 456 on the Armstrong Powerhouse played some part in making this train. He took 5 steps away from his computer, took a look at everything about it and said, you know what, yeah, this is pretty good. This is definitely my magnum opus on train sim. The level of shark jumping is comparable to the ending of AI Artificial Intelligence. And I don't think I'm going to take that back. The reason why I'm saying that is because, well, regards to his previous trains that he's worked on, you know, the 321 and the 456, I don't think they are perfect or anything like that, but I do think they're, you know, somewhat good, and I can see some effort put into it. Regards to the 4558 here, no, I don't see much effort. It's just cutting corners, cutting so many corners until you end up with almost a perfect circle. Oh, it doesn't matter how crap it is, the kids will buy it anyway. I guarantee that if Dovetail made this train, you'd buy it sight unseen. You won't care how bad the sounds are. Most of you people won't even care if they reuse the 166 cam. Surprisingly, to me, the most annoying thing about this part in the manual is that Well, yes, Geordie's name is there, but it hasn't told us what he's done. For all we know, he could have just, I don't know, modelled the windows. I do know that Geordie does have a YouTube account, and in the unlikely event that he stumbles across this video, he is more than welcome to write a comment or send me a private message, or however YouTube does it now these days, explaining what he did or anything like that, etc, etc. Like I said before, I welcome discussion. This is not UK dictatorship sim. And that's all I have really to discuss about the 4558. Can I be honest, it does seem a bit cheap to end this episode here because it's not even 11 minutes. So, you know what? Let's riff over another video! Yeah, I'm just spoiling you all, aren't I? Well, a few episodes ago, a commenter kindly linked me to this video right here. Not too long ago, Dovetail Games attended Gamescom and they were interviewed by a German interviewer, and we're gonna watch this video right here, right now. However, we're gonna, let's say, add something. We're gonna play Madgu. No, that's what it's called. Madgu. The Maverick Adjective Drinking Game. You can play along to this game if you really want to, but I ain't paying for your taxi to your local A&E, I'll tell you that right now. You have to take a shot every single time they say an unneeded or just phoned in adjective. Right, it's time to start, but first, the obligatory transition.
So what is new in the Train Simulator 2016?
So this is the biggest and best train simulator we've ever made.
Oh, would you look at that? The first sentence, and you gotta take 2 shots. Bottoms up, mate. I also kind of find it very interesting how he's saying this is going to be the biggest and the best train simulator they've ever made, when essentially they're just crossing out the 5 and replacing it with a 6 using a board marker pen.
So this year you're going to get 15 trains to drive on 3 amazing different locations. So there's as much variety as you could possibly ask for.
Really now? I bet the routes that they're going to showcase for us have never been created in Train Sim before. That'll be nice.
So what you're going to start off, as you can see behind us, we're in Cologne here.
Whoa, spoke too soon.
And we're in a new feature called the Railfan mode. So it adds a whole new way of playing the game. You can play now as a railfan. You can do some train spotting, as you can see here. And it's really all about observing the scene, getting a really nice spot to do that from, and capturing some great pictures of the trains as they go past.
Can I be honest here? I really don't like the name Rail Fan Mode. Why can't I just call it Train Spotting Mode? And even then, to be honest, there is no point of this mode existing. If you want to create a train spotting scenario, you just don't pick a player locomotive. Then you have the freedom to watch all the trains go by. Why do we need a whole mode dedicated to doing something which I can tell already is going to be inferior than what we have already? One other thing I want to mention, you may notice that they're gonna play the TS 2016 teaser trailer, not the audio, just the visuals. You might have noticed that they've been playing it in lots of their videos. Even in this developer interview, they're just trying to shove the TS 2016 teaser in your face everywhere, even on their live streams. And it's getting really annoying.
So this is one of the routes as well. You'll get to drive the iconic DB BR155, one of the most important trains ever made.
Okay, I added one to the counter there because I wouldn't consider the BR155 as iconic. Not at all. Important? Yeah, I could agree on that. But iconic? No. Because when I hear the word iconic, I think of things like the Boeing 747, Concorde, the Ford Model T, Spitfire, Mallard, the Flying Scotsman, the Electric Telegraph, or even to an extent something like MS-DOS. But where would something like the BR155 fit in that spectrum? I'm actually genuinely curious about that.
Because it really provided the blueprint for electric trains. And so they were kind of the 155, and the prototype for the 155 inspired all electric trains around the world. It's an amazing piece of equipment to drive and learn to master, which I'm sure a lot of people will be looking forward to as a challenge.
Well, I've already watched the live stream of the BR155 quite a while ago, and at the end of the day, it's just a fancier tap changer. You know, the Class 86 and 87. If you could drive those, you could easily drive the BR155. As long as you're not reckless, I wouldn't call it much of a challenge.
So the challenge this year is really about extreme.
Tell you what, let's up the ante a bit and add some bonus ducks to the mix. Every time he says extreme or challenge, double the points. And yes, those last two count.
Someone's about to have a very bad day.
That's our theme for the game. And really what that means is we're giving you some really tough challenges to do. Can you master the BR-155 in Germany? And then when you've gone beyond that, you can then go back in time into 1950s England and find yourself as a driver of a steam train there, running along a busy holiday route on the Devon coastline, ferrying impatient tourists out to the destinations down there. And the challenge is, can you master steam? Because that's always been a very difficult thing for people. Even advanced electric and diesel drivers have found steam to be a really tough challenge.
Well, yeah, if you're having to do everything all by yourself and you're not driving a small tank engine. Most steam trains usually have a driver and a fireman, which is why I usually have the automatic fireman turned on, because I'm the driver, not the fireman. Oh, would you look at that dovetail? A missed opportunity for multiplayer. Worse still, one that could actually work.
So to help people, what we've done is we've provided a new system called Driver Assists. And basically that means it's real-time assistance system. So you're driving along and it gives you prompts to help you keep the steam machines running. And so it'll be a really helpful way for anybody that enjoys diesel, enjoys electric now, but always found steam very tough. It will help them get into driving steam trains, which is very, very rewarding.
Well, you know what? That's actually a really nice idea. Only one problem. It's behind an unneeded paywall, meaning if you already own this game, you have to buy it again to try out those new features. It's about as fair and balanced as Meta Knight in Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
And then once you've done that, you're off to America, where you get to drive the legendary Union Pacific gas turbine. This is one of the most insane trains ever made. It ran in the 60s and 70s, and as well as having a diesel engine, it has a full jet engine on it, like an aircraft.
Hey, General Electric, Rolls-Royce, Pratt & Whitney, take some freaking notes, because this train is so good! It has a full jet engine opposed to a half jet engine. Yeah, that's right. Full jet engine. Let's go.
And all you have to do is get some good grass and roll it every day for 600 years.
No. We don't need another MLG montage. Maybe later, though.
And so once you fired it up and move it along with a diesel, then the jet engine kicks in. And it's for pulling massive amounts of freight up and down Sherman Hill Summit.
Sherman Hill? Haven't we had that route already? I'll be honest and say I don't know too much about the American routes, but I could have sworn we already had Sherman Hill out already.
Which is all about managing a massive amount of freight up and down these hills and mastering things like the complex dynamic braking system that the American trains employ.
I have never, ever seen an American train on Train Simulator 2015 or any version use a dynamic brake before. Have you, children?
So you've got three very, very different challenges there. You've got German electric at its best.
Ah, no!
You've got the heyday of British steam trains.
Well, yeah, it would be a heyday, but not for the steam, more so for the diesel hydraulics that replaced them during the 1950s and 60s. The time period that this rehashed route is based on.
And you've got the legendary Union Pacific for some amazing American railroading. We're helping you with steam trains, and also we're giving you the railfan mode so you can go railfanning around America, Germany and the UK.
But only for those who can buy the game again.
Okay. What about the Unreal Engine? Will it be included, or what about this? When will it be introduced?
I'm going to skip this one here because he's mainly just confirming that TS 2016 is not the UE4 version. I'll link the whole video for you in the description if you want to see it, but other than that, there's not much I can really say with this small bit here. Though we'll still continue as usual.
But that's for next year. So right now we're very focused on TS 2016. And we're very, very committed to this platform as well.
For some reason, I find that very hard to believe.
This isn't going to go away, so UE4 will not replace our existing technology. The two technologies will exist side by side, and we will continue making great content for our existing platform as well.
No comment needed.
But in the new version, the community has the option to make modifications for the game or something like this.
That's all to be worked out in the future, really. So in terms of the details on the Unreal 4 experience, I can't comment because I don't honestly know.
I can't really blame him for not knowing about something which technically doesn't even exist, but I was a bit nervous in the sense that it was almost as if he was deciding, wouldn't it be a good idea if we don't allow people to modify this game? It's kind of creepy.
So our expectation is it'll be very similar to what it is right now.
Oh dear, that's not good.
So it's, right now people have the same tools that we have, and can make incredible content. Some of the community created scenarios, routes, locos, it's just unbelievable. Long may that continue, because it's more than a game, it's a hobby, a really rich and rewarding experience. And our community and community involvement is essential, and makes that a very rich world that we live in.
Of course it makes it a rich world for you. And of course your community involvement is essential, because if you don't have the community, then you have nobody to exploit and rip off with overhyped tosh. That's how this game works. And that's pretty much all of the interview. The last question that he asked was basically the release date, and that's in September, not long of a wait, though I'm not really excited or anything. As you can see there, the score is at 26, which is pretty dangerous. I do hope nobody was really playing along, because that would have been just deadly if you think about it. Though not as deadly as the TF2 drinking game. Overall, I do think the video did provide some good information, but, just so many phoned-in adjectives. It was almost as if he was trying to sell the game more so of explaining and have an interview. I'm sorry, that's what I feel. Well, that's all I'm going to talk about for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Goodbye.